Tuesday, and I am back with template number 4 from our 2025 annual catalog. There's all these sketches and all this inspiration and all these ideas, and we are putting them into visual practice and creating a pattern box that has the visual representation of each of the sketches along with their measurements, so that you can just flip through your pattern box, pull out the one that inspires you, and create a project that you love. So let's get started with template number 4 today. Okay, so here is our annual catalog. We are working through page 24 of the 2025 annual catalog. If you need your copy, you can request one on my blog at stampinqueenbee.com. And there is a form you can fill out with your current mailing address, and I'll be happy to send a catalog package your way. Okay, so we are on template number 4 today, and I think this might be my favorite so far of all the templates, and it is a jumbo tag. These are so fun to make. I love that they put this in the card tag and templates. It's such a fun one, and I'm excited to share it with you today. So let me move that up so we know what we're working with. Let me bring in my parts and pieces here. We've got a jumbo tag base. We've got our squoval. Did you know a square oval is called a squoval? So that is our large shape. And mine is actually die cut from some DSP using these nested essential dies. There are some squovals in there, and I use this larger one to create this piece. Okay, then we need a circle, and so our circle is going to come. I used the punch, the 1 3/4 punch that we have to create this circle. We need a sentiment, so I've got my sentiment here. This one says forever and ever, and that comes from the Saying Something ephemera pack. And so this is an ephemera pack that's kind of fun. It's got not only all these fun colored sentiments that you can pop out, but it also has these type sentiments that are kind of bigger, more intricate words, we'll call it. And so there's all of these that come in there. They come on sheets like this, and you can just punch them right out, easy peasy. So this is in our online store, my online store, Saying Something ephemera pack. So that is what I used today to create the template. Here is our measurements. So our jumbo tag base is actually 3.5 by 6 inches. 3.5 by 6 inches. Now I put on here an optional layer, and so I'm going to show you that today. So here's my optional layer, and this one is 3.25 inches by 5 3/4 inches. We've got our squoval, which is about 3 by 2 1/4 inches. Our circle, which is that 1 3/4 inch, and then our sentiment. So if you want to take a screenshot of any of that, go ahead. And something that I wanted to share, just like last week, anytime there is a shape, it could be a different shape. It could be a piece of ephemera. You know, last week we did our tags and we used the ephemera from the Good Times. So any of these could be put in place just like we did on last week's video. So all of this to say, this is such a fun template that I love creating. It's easy, it's fun, and I think jumbo tags are really wow. So this optional layer here, if you were using, like I'm using basic white here, so we're going to put it on the front, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But let's say you were using colored cardstock, this optional layer can go on the back in a white, and then you could use that as your place to write your message. So that is an option for that as well. Love the bee paper, right? I love the bee paper. I use it any chance I get. So let's start with our template. So we're going to miter our 2 top edges. And remember I showed you that mitering trick last time where we do one edge, and then we're just going to flip it over, hold it corner to corner there. I'm just gonna line that up. We're gonna use our snips again, and we're just gonna go right along that edge, and that is how you will get your both edges to be the same, right? I love that little trick. Okay, so now with our optional layer, you can kind of do the same thing. So I would line this up at the bottom, how I would normally have it, right? You want that just probably 1/8 of an inch all around the border, but we need to move it up a little. So I'm gonna move it up maybe another 1/8 of an inch. So we've got kind of like a 1/4 of an inch there. I'm gonna hold that there, and I'm gonna go to the back here. And then I'm just gonna go right along those edges so that we get that same angle for our optional layer piece. And then look, we can just move this down now, and we're all lined up. See? Isn't that a good little trick? Not even part of the template video, just an extra tip for an extra bang for your buck, right? Okay, now let's get this adhered. So I'm just gonna use some liquid glue. This is so easy, but I really love these jumbo tags. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my layer here. Remember, this is optional. I just think this kind of adds a little bit, right? So we've got that there. Then we're gonna do our squoval. Is that a new word for you? It was a new word for me when I heard it. I think I heard it actually at convention this year from the stage, and I was like, oh, I never heard it called a squoval before. And then we'll add our circle. And remember, you can pop these up. I got a couple examples to share with you, but you can pop these up, any of these layers, with Stampin' Dimensionals. For my pattern box, I like them to be flat, so I just use my liquid glue. So then we're just gonna take our sentiment here, and we're just gonna put it kind of like right on that edge and adhere that there. And that is too much glue, but I can fix that, right? But that is our template number 4, this jumbo tag. These are just so fun. So template number 4 in the annual catalog. And let me show you. You can take another screenshot if you like. I know some of you like the finished screenshot. So there is that, but let me show you a couple of examples. So here is one that I did. So I just, use those punches, those tag topper punches, to punch that cutout there. I added some ribbon, that's the peach pie in color ribbon. And then you can see, instead of using the squoval here, that shape, and the circle and the sentiment, I used some ephemera. So this is from one of our DSP packs, our birthday DSP packs. And instead of the squoval, I used the die cut that comes in there, the laser cut that comes in there of the cake. And then I moved my sentiment from the sentiment strip to the circle. And this one actually came from those same saying something ephemera. So that was that. And then this piece I replaced. It's another image in this DSP pack, and it was a flower. So you can see you can really substitute any of the shapes for different die cuts or pieces like that. I also did another B card, jumbo tag, and so this one, you can see I didn't do the edges. So if you don't want to miter those edges, you can leave it straight. If you had a corner rounder, you could even round the corners, lots of things you could do. I used the same squoval, but here I used DSP for my circle, and then I used a different shaped sentiment. So this is a banner kind of sentiment, also from the Saying Something ephemera. So you can see they go really, really well with things, right? So we'll just put the bees over here. And then this one, I just went ahead and put my ribbon underneath my DSP. So I stapled that on before I put this optional layer of DSP here. And then I just put that right on the front. And then here's, you can see if you were using a piece of colored cardstock, you might want to write a message. Everybody loves a message. It means so much, right? Your handwriting is a difference maker. So putting that basic white piece, if you're using a colored cardstock, really allows you to write a fun message. You could stamp on there. You could add a couple of ephemera or stamps or anything like that to make it a little wow too. So this is template number 4 from our annual catalog. Oh, I can't wait to see what you create and if these jumbo tags are one of your favorites as well. So let me come back on so that I can just say thanks for watching. I can't wait to read your comments about these fun jumbo tags. I love reading how much you guys are enjoying these Template Tuesday videos. I know I really enjoy them. I love my pattern box. I know many of you do as well. And I can't wait to see you next week for another template and what it will bring, more inspiration and more ideas for us, right? Have a great week, everyone, and I'll see you soon.